Okay, before we begin, I just want to remind everyone this is a webinar, so Daniel and I, cannot see you, but when you ask questions in the chat, I can see them and I'll be able to ask them to Daniel. So please utilize the chat or the Q&A to ask any and all questions. We are also recording this so that it can be posted on the community for anyone that was not able to join. But I'm going to pass it off to Daniel, who's going to lead us through a presentation on the FAFSA form. He has a lot of knowledge in this area, and I'm super excited for him to help each of you. So Daniel, take it away.
Hello, everyone. My name is Daniel. I'm currently in my second year of college, and this is my third time filling out the FAFSA. And now I will share my screen. Okay. So now, what is the purpose of the FAFSA? The free application for federal student aid is a form completed by current and incoming post-secondary students in the United States to determine their eligibility for federal, state, and merit-based financial aid, and this aid does not have to be paid back. Now, who is eligible to receive the FAFSA? General eligibility requirements include that you have financial need, are a U.S. citizen or eligible non-citizen, and are enrolled or plan to be enrolled in an eligible degree or certificate program at your college or career school. So some important dates. The FAFSA becomes available to complete on October 1st every year. The FAFSA has a 21-month application cycle and can be submitted as late as June 30th of the academic year or the last day of classes if that day comes first. The 2023-24 FAFSA opens October 1st, 2022. It is ideal to submit your FAFSA form as soon as you can after October 1st, because this will help you ensure you don't miss out on aid options. And there are 3 FAFSA deadlines outlined below, and here is a link that will give you, my apologies, those dates specifically. So your school deadline, your school or college often sets its own priority deadline for the FAFSA. You should apply by your priority date to get the most aid from your college or school as possible. Your state deadline. Each state has its own FAFSA deadline, and state financial aid funds are given on a first-come, first-served basis. And then the federal is the final deadline, which occurs on June 30th, as I previously stated. So some general FAFSA questions. Is it financial aid? Yes, and it's 4 different types. There are grants, work study, loans, and scholarships. When is it filled out? Each October. The FAFSA is available for the next school year. It is best to fill it out as early as you can because some aid is first come, first served. Well, I only need to fill it out once when I'm in college. You must fill out and submit the FAFSA for each year you are in college. What's the best way to fill out the FAFSA? For the most accurate and quickest ways to fill out the FAFSA, you should go to studentaid.gov for online forms or go through the My Student Aid mobile app. You can also choose to have the paper FAFSA mailed to you by calling the U.S. Department of Education at this number. And if you don't provide an email address on your FAFSA application, your student aid report will be mailed to you. Is more financial aid given for siblings in college at the same time? Families with multiple children in college at the same time may have greater financial aid eligibility. This is because the financial aid formula acknowledges the family's obligation to each college student in the household. So what documents are needed to complete the FAFSA? You should have your social security card and driver's license and/or alien registration card if you're not a U.S. citizen, your 2021 or the year before federal income tax return. You don't have to wait. You can use the most recent returns you have from the last year, W-2s, and other records of your money earned for that year. Your parents' income tax returns, W-2 forms, and 1040 forms if you are dependent of them, and you are unless declared otherwise. If you or your parents have not completed their taxes or your taxes yet, you can estimate your income and other tax return information and then correct your application after you have filed for your taxes. Should also have records and documentation of other non-taxable income received, such as welfare benefits, Social Security income, veterans benefits, military, or clergy allowances if applicable. Also, any additional applicable financial information, such as taxable work study, assistantships, fellowships, grants and scholarship aid reported to the IRS, combat pay or other special combat pay and cooperative education program earnings. Records of any additional non-taxable income. Examples include child support, veterans, non-education benefits, money received or paid on your behalf, etc. And then finally, current bank or brokerage account statements, including records of stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and other investments if applicable. Also, to continue, business and investment farm records if applicable, records relating to any unusual family financial circumstances. This can be anything that changed from last year, anything that separates you from a typical family, in quotes, such as your living situation or your parents' marital status. Title IV institution codes for each school you are applying to. You can get this code from the school. Some have them listed on their websites, or you can use the financial aid school code database. Something to keep in mind when filling out and submitting your FAFSA electronically, you'll need your FSA ID to sign the form. If you don't have one, you can create an FSA ID online. If you are applying as a dependent, again, you are dependent unless declared otherwise. If you are a dependent, one parent is required to sign as well. To electronically fill out your FAFSA online, your parents should also apply for a FSA ID at the same site. You can also download the Department of Education's 2023-24 FAFSA worksheet during your preparation process to doubly ensure you have all the information you need. To make adding your tax information to your FAFSA easier, you can use the IRS data retrieval tool. If you have already filed your federal income tax returns, it will pre-fill the answers to some of the more difficult FAFSA questions by transferring the necessary data directly from your federal income tax returns. My apologies. Some common financial aid mistakes. Deciding not to financial aid because you think you'll never qualify, not filing your parents' tax returns or applying for financial aid, missing your college's deadlines, deciding not to apply for financial aid as a college freshman or high school senior, not have any savings plan for college, when deciding what assets you have, incorrectly marking it as your income when it is your parents' income, or not calling the college's financial aid office if you have any questions about FAFSA. Now here is a funny graphic about the FAFSA and how stressful it is. And finally, here are some resources that you can take a picture of for later use. And now that is my presentation. So if anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask.
If you have any questions for Daniel, please put them in the chat. We'll give everyone a few more minutes and this recording will be shared. So if you can't think of your questions right now, it will be on the community. So you can post your questions there for Daniel to answer.
So I see a question came in. I am currently a junior in high school. Am I eligible to apply for the FAFSA? So you will want to wait till your senior year in high school, but I'm glad that you are eager to apply now.
Brandon, thank you for your question. I can tell you all from firsthand experience, just like Daniel, the FAFSA is not easy to navigate. It can be very complicated. There's a lot of language in there that can be confusing. So please be sure to always reach out to someone that can help you along the way. And Daniel is another great one for that as well. We appreciate everyone coming and thank you, Daniel, for giving us all this information. It was super helpful. I hope everyone has a great evening and we will see you around on the community.